Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
So welcome back to our other review series practice quiz, and this is part 5 of our planning quiz. So instructions before proceeding with the quiz: it is best to get a piece of paper muna, cut lengthwise, and then write down numbers 1 to 30 so that when you are ready, you can now start with the quiz, and for every question, write down the corresponding letter of your best choice or answer from the multiple choice. And you will be given 10 seconds to finalize your answer. At the end of the quiz, count the total number of your correct answers and check your score rating. So if you are now ready, good luck. So number 1. He is the author of the 10-volume treatise De Architectura, which relates experience of Roman architecture and town planning. A. Leonardo da Vinci, B. Nicoletus, C. Vitruvius, and D. Hippodamus. And our correct answer is letter C, Vitruvius. So Vitruvius, Marcus Vitruvius Pollio, was a Roman architect and engineer, best known for his 10-volume treatise De Architectura, or On Architecture, which became the foundation of classical architectural theory. The other name for this is the 10 books on architecture. So sabi nila, this is the volume, the Bible for architects. Number 2. Built the first garden city, Lettsworth, in 1920. A. Raymond Unwin, Barry Parker, B. Lewis Mumford, C. Friedman and Douglas, and D. Abercrombie. And our correct answer is letter A, Raymond Unwin, Barry Parker. So Raymond Unwin and Barry Parker were the architects who designed Lettsworth's Garden City in England, which became the first garden city, based on Ebenezer Howard's Garden City movement. It was planned in the early 1900s, founded 1903, and developed in the following decades, not 1920. Number 3. Acknowledged as the oldest city in the history of settlements. A. Babylon, B. Constantinople, C. Erido, and D. Damascus. And our correct answer is letter C, Erido. So Erido is often acknowledged as the oldest city in recorded history. It was located in ancient Sumer or Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. And according to the Sumerian king list, it was considered the first city in the world, founded around 5,400 BCE. So number 4, acknowledged as the oldest continually inhabited city in the world. A. Babylon, B. Damascus, C. Erido, and D. Athens. And our correct answer is letter B, Damascus. So Damascus in present-day Syria is regarded as the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world, with evidence of human settlement dating back to around 8,000 to 10,000 BCE. So number 5, Roman Forum, designed with formalism. A. Freedom Forum, B. Triumphal Forum, C. Republican Forum, and D. Imperial Forum. And our correct answer is letter D, Imperial Forum. So the imperial fora in Rome were designed with formalism, order, and grandeur, reflecting the power and authority of the emperors. Unlike the earlier Republican Forum, which grew more organically, the imperial forums, such as those of Julius Caesar, Augustus, and Trajan, were carefully planned monumental spaces. Ito yun, kay Trajan, kay Augustus, at saka ang kay Julius Caesar. Number 6, the first noted urban planner because of his design of the city of Miletus. A. Vitruvius, B. Damascus, C. Hippodamus, and D. Paleo. And our correct answer is letter C, Hippodamus. Hippodamus of Miletus, 5th century BCE, is considered the first noted urban planner. He is known for introducing the grid plan, that is orthogonal layout, in city design, first applied in the rebuilding of Miletus after it was destroyed by the Persians. He is often called the father of urban planning. Number 7, the first city that signified the rise of the church, with the church being an integral part of its urban design. A. Rome, B. Constantinople, C. Madrid, and D. Versailles. And our correct answer is letter B, Constantinople. So when Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, was founded by Emperor Constantine in 330 CE, it was the first great city where the Christian church became central to urban design. Unlike earlier Roman cities that emphasized forums, baths, and theaters, Constantinople integrated churches like Hagia Sophia as dominant urban landmarks, symbolizing the rise of Christianity in city planning. Number 8, leader of the reform movement during the Industrial Revolution. A. Robert Owen, B. James Oglethorpe, C. Ebenezer Howard, and D. Soria Imata. And our correct answer is letter A, Robert Owen. So Robert Owen was a social reformer during the Industrial Revolution. He is best known for improving working and living conditions in his new Lanark textile mills in Scotland, advocating for better housing, education, and health for workers. Number 9, acknowledged as the icon of middle-class suburbanization during the 1950s. A. Projects 1 to 8, B. Forbes Park 1, C. Film Life Homes, and D. Quezon City. And our correct answer is letter C, Film Life Homes. So developed in Quezon City during the 1950s, Film Life Homes became the icon of middle-class suburbanization in the Philippines. It was one of the first large-scale residential subdivisions that offered modern housing, wide streets, and community facilities, representing the post-war suburban ideal for the Filipino middle class. Number 10, largest inland area among Metro Manila cities. A. City of Manila, B. Caloocan City, C. Quezon City, and D. Muntinlupa City. And our correct answer is letter C, Quezon City. So Quezon City is the largest inland area among Metro Manila cities, covering about 166 square kilometers. Number 11, among Kevin Lynn's elements of the city, these are defined as lateral references that are not coordinate axes. A. Paths, B. Edges, C. Nodes, and D. Districts. And our correct answer is letter B, edges. So according to Kevin Lynn's The Image of the City, that is in 1960, edges are lateral references, boundaries or linear elements that serve as organizing features, but are not used as main axes. Examples include shorelines, walls, freeways, or railroads. They help people orient themselves in a city, but unlike paths, they are not primary movement routes. So edges are the linear elements that form boundaries between two faces, or linear breaks in continuity, the shores, railroad cuts, or edges of development or walls. Number 12, the document issued by the DNR Secretary certifying that based on the representations of the proponent and the preparers as reviewed and validated by the EIARC, the project will not pose negative impact to the environment. A. ECC, B. EIS, C. EMP, and D. EENT. And our correct answer is letter A, ECC. So an ECC or Environmental Compliance Certificate is issued by the DNR Secretary or his/her duly authorized representative. It certifies that based on the Environmental Impact Statement or EIS and the review of the Environmental Impact Assessment Review Committee or EIARC, the proposed project will not cause significant negative environmental impacts provided the proponent complies with the conditions stated in the certificate. Number 13 refers to non-agricultural lands in urban and urbanizable areas on which no improvements, as herein defined, have been made by the owner, as certified by the city, municipality, or provincial assessor. A. Idle lands. B. Blighted lands. C. Areas for priority development. And D. Component lands. And our correct answer is letter A, idle lands. So according to RA 7279 UDHA, idle lands refers to non-agricultural lands in urban and urbanizable areas on which no improvements, as herein defined, have been made by the owner as certified by the city, municipal, or provincial assessor. Number 14, a tract or a parcel of land registered under RA 496, which is partitioned primarily for residential purposes into individual lot with or without improvements thereon, and offered to the public for sale in cash or installment terms. A. Condominium project. B. Economic and socialized housing. C. Subdivision project. And D. Open market housing. And our correct answer is letter C, subdivision project. So that is under PD 957, the Subdivision and Condominium Buyers Protective Decree. Definition of subdivision project means a tract or a parcel of land registered under Act number 496. This is the land titling system, no? Which is partitioned primarily for residential purposes into individual lots with or without improvements thereon, and offered to the public for sale in cash or in installment terms. It shall include all residential, commercial, industrial, and recreational areas, as well as open spaces and other community and public areas in the project. Number 15. The entire parcel of real property divided or to be divided primarily for residential purposes into condominium units, including all structures thereon. A. Condominium project. B. Subdivision project. C. Economic and socialized housing. And D. Open market housing. And our correct answer is letter A, condominium project. So under PD 957 again, the condominium project shall mean the entire parcel of real property divided or to be divided primarily for residential purposes into condominium units, including all structures thereon, while a condominium unit means a part of the condominium project intended for any type of independent use or ownership, including one or more rooms or spaces located in one or more floors, or parts of floors in a building or buildings and such accessories as may be appended thereto. Number 16, a written agreement between parties, but it allows a specific period during which the buyer can investigate the property and make a decision. A. Initial contract. B. Draft contract. C. Option to buy. And D. Subscription agreement. And our correct answer is letter C, option to buy. So an option to buy is a written agreement giving the buyer the exclusive right within a specified period to decide whether or not to purchase the property. It does not yet transfer ownership but reserves the property under agreed terms while the buyer investigates or secures financing. Number 17, a habitable room for one family only with facilities for living, sleeping, cooking, and eating. A. Single detached unit. B. Living unit. C. Dwelling unit. And D. Home unit. And our correct answer is letter C, dwelling unit. So as defined under PD 1096, dwelling unit is one or more habitable rooms which are occupied or which are intended or designated to be occupied by one family with facilities for living, sleeping, cooking, and eating. Number 18, written document to transfer the property to one person to another. A. Transfer certificate title. B. Clearance. C. Deed. And D. Equity. And our correct answer is letter C, deed. So a deed example is the deed of sale, deed of donation, or deed of exchange is the written document signed by the parties that actually transfers ownership rights from one person to another. While the TCT or Transfer Certificate of Title is the official certificate issued by the Registry of Deeds after the property has been transferred. It proves ownership, but it is not the instrument that effects the transfer. So this is an example of a deed of absolute sale. Number 19, a very steep slope of rock or clay. A. Ridge. B. Edge. C. Ravine. And D. Cliff. And our correct answer is letter D. Cliff. So a cliff is a very steep slope or vertical face of rock or clay, often formed by processes such as erosion or faulting. Number 20, on land, an encumbrance limiting its use, usually imposed for community or mutual protection. A. Parcel. B. Restriction. C. Zoning. And D. Density. And our correct answer is letter B, restriction. So a restriction is an encumbrance placed on land that limits its use, often written into deeds or subdivision covenants, and is usually imposed for community or mutual protection. That is setbacks, height limits, prohibitions on certain uses. So, number 21, this code mandates that all local government units shall prepare their comprehensive land use plans and enact them through zoning ordinances. A. CLURB code. B. Local government code. C. Civil code. And D. Land use code. And our correct answer is letter B, Local Government Code. So, RA, or Republic Act number 7160, that is the Local Government Code of 1991, mandates that all local government units, or LGUs, prepare their comprehensive land use plans, or CLUPs, now referred to as comprehensive land and water use plans, and implement them through zoning ordinances to guide land use and development within their jurisdictions. Number 22, ni Mayor believed that relating large areas to each other is freedom, as in the planned city of blank. A. Chandigarh, B. Stalingrad, C. Chicago, and D. Brasilia. And our correct answer is letter D, Brasilia. So Lucio Costa is the urban planner of Brasilia. He won the 1957 competition with the Plano Piloto, or pilot plan, shaping the city's overall layout, which is an airplane bird-like form, and super blocks with a monumental axis. Oscar Niemeyer is the architect who designed most of the major public buildings, that is Palacio de Alvorada, National Congress, Cathedral Brasilia, etc. The urban plan credit goes to Costa, while Niemeyer gave architectural expression to that vision through monumental buildings. Number 33. Usually, the last stage of the final site development process prior to issuance of building permit. A. Site development plan. B. Landscaping. C. Final design brief. And D. Final plat. And our correct answer is letter D, final plat. So a final plat is the surveyed engineered drawing that shows the exact boundaries, lots, roads, easements, and other details of the subdivision or site. It is usually the last stage of the site development process before a building permit can be issued, since it legally establishes the land division and improvements. So the final plat is intended for final review of engineering and platting details and settlement of any land dedication requirements, improvements agreements, or other necessary legal documentation. So when is it necessary? A final plat is required when a proposed subdivision is going through the standard two-step subdivision process. Final plats must be in substantial compliance with an approved preliminary plan, and final plats must also be submitted within a year of approval of the preliminary plan unless otherwise extended. This is from other countries. No? So this final plat is a requirement for subdivision projects. So number 24, a spatial organization concept. That is a general view of the pattern of land use in a city developed by Ernest Burgess. The city is conceived as a series of 5 concentric zones with the cores as the central business district, and fanning out from which are the residential and commuter zones. A. Multiple nuclei concept. B. Concentric zone concept. C. Sector concept. And D. Locational theory. And our correct answer is letter B, concentric zone concept. So Ernest Burgess in 1925 proposed the concentric zone model, which views the city as a series of rings. That is, the core is the central business district, and the first zone is the transitional zone, that is for light industry and poorer housing or deteriorated housing and abandoned buildings. And number 3 zone is the working class zones, or the zone of working men's homes. These are usually single family tenements. And the next zone is the residential zones, the middle class, no? Single family homes with yards and garages. And the last zone is the commuter zone, or the suburban area. The multiple nuclei concept is by Harris and Ullman in 1945, wherein cities grew around several centers. And sector concept by Homer Hoyt in 1939, wherein cities grow in wedges or sectors and often along transport lines. While locational theory is by von Thunen, wherein he explains land use in relation to distance and transport costs. Number 25. In architectural terms, it is the relationship of the number of residential structures and people to a given amount of space. A. Zoning. B. Density. C. Floor area ratio. And D. Floor space index. And our correct answer is letter B, density. So in architecture and planning, density refers to the relationship of the number of residential structures or people to a given amount of land area. Number 26. In the Philippines, this type of land use planning emphasizes the proper management of land resources to ensure that the present generation can benefit from its continued use without compromising future generations. A. Coastal resource planning. B. Land use planning. C. Sustainable land use planning. And D. Strategic planning. And our correct answer is letter C, sustainable land use planning. So in the Philippines, sustainable land use planning emphasizes the proper management of land and natural resources so that the needs of the present are met without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. The principle of sustainability aligns with the Philippine Development Plan and environmental laws promoting balanced development and resource conservation. So this is the Sustainable Land Use Planning Process, or the SLUP, used in comprehensive development planning. Number 27. The main reason why the nomadic existence of early man metamorphosed to village settlement and later to the birth of cities. A. Development of motor. B. Agricultural surplus. C. Population explosion. And D. Housing provision. And our correct answer is letter B, agricultural surplus. So the agricultural revolution allowed early humans to produce more food than they immediately needed. The surplus meant people no longer had to move constantly in search of resources, leading to permanent village settlements, division of labor, population growth, and eventually the rise of cities. Number 28. In urban geography, a concept where urban settlement is confined to the area within the legal limits of the city, and the congestion and virtually all of this area is occupied by urban residents. A. City core. B. City limits. C. Urban center. And D. True bounded city. And our correct answer is letter D, true bounded city. So in urban geography, a true bounded city is an urban settlement that is confined within its legal city limits, where most of the land is occupied by urban residents, and congestion is concentrated within this defined area. Number 29. Planning for roads, bridges, schools, parking structures, public buildings, water supply, land waste disposal facilities. A. Capital facilities planning. B. Utilities planning. C. Physical planning. And D. Transport planning. And our correct answer is letter A, capital facilities planning. So it involves the planning, development, and provision of major public infrastructure and facilities such as roads, bridges, schools, parking structures, public buildings, water supply, and waste disposal systems. It focuses on long-term investments that support the community's growth and quality of life. And lastly, number 30, sometimes called subscription money. This is a deposit given to the seller to show that the potential buyer has serious intentions. A. Earnest money. B. Draft money. C. Initial installment. And D. Equity. And our correct answer is letter A, earnest money. So earnest money is sometimes called subscription money. It's a deposit given by a potential buyer to demonstrate serious intent to purchase a property. It is usually applied toward the purchase price if the sale proceeds. So also, it is a deposit made to a seller that represents a buyer's good faith to make a purchase, such as the acquisition of a new home. And that's it for our quiz. Congratulations for completing the quiz. Now, count your total correct answers and determine your score category. If your rating is 15 or less, it is time for a more strategic review.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Enroll at Atlas CDC Review for a comprehensive prep for the Architecture Board exams. Message us now.